Hey, I made a movie about my tanks, my ponds and stuff, which is going to start very shortly. I just thought I'd come on and just explain a few things. I get lost for words sometimes, so excuse me for that. The place is in a fair bit of a mess because we're cutting down trees to let some sunlight in. We're in southern Queensland in Australia, so you know, we keep the trees up for the summertime, but as the movie will explain to you, we're changing a few things to make stuff a little bit more light coming in, so we can grow plants and shrimp and different kinds of fishes and stuff, so we can put them out to market. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube stuff and found a lot of information about, like aquascaping tanks is just like a dream of mine. So I need to get some stuff going so I can make some money to get another tank, so I could do some aquascaping, or I could, do some stuff. So this is my take on ponds and stuff. I don't like digging, and pine sleepers, treated pine sleepers are quite cheap. They're $11, I think $11.99 for a 2.4 metre, and about $15 for a 3 metre. So it's not a big deal. Nuts and bolts and stuff like that to bolt it all together isn't a big deal. So for about $500 you can make a 3 metre by 2 metre pond with the line and everything in it for outside. I bought a huge heater, which is one of my ponds, and it's for vats. It's like it's a heater that's probably about 1 metre long. It's titanium. It's used for beer vats, I think. To heat the yeast and stuff up to brew. And I was lucky enough to get a hold of one of these things in. It's got the temperature gauge on it. It's got a warning signal that if which happened once actually. The sensor was not far enough down in the pond, and the heater was going on during last winter, and the water went down. I didn't worry about it too much. I thought, there's a heap of water in there. Didn't realise that the sensor was out, so it was trying to match the air temperature. The water temperature got to about 40 something degrees, and cooked everything inside it except for the plecos, were the only thing that really survived. So it was a bit of a sad day actually, because I had some billow points, trophies in there. I had about 10 of them, and I think they were in there for about a year. There was a couple of hundred in there, worth a fair bit of money. Beautiful looking fish, and I lost the whole lot. But hey, sad as that is, you learn by your mistakes. So this movie's about pretty much where I'm at fish keeping and stuff. It's not a full-time thing for me. I like riding motorcycles and stuff, so I got my own thing going there. But this is like a hobby thing, but I want to try and get some plants and stuff, and just make a couple extra bucks on there, so I can get some decent fish and buy another tank so I can do an aquascaping thing. So I hope you enjoy the movie. Stay to the end. Oh, one thing there, I do get attacked by a fish in one of the ponds. Quite hilarious actually. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so here we are at the NANO tank, the one that my wife done. This is a couple of days after the last video I did, but I want to show you the full extent of all the fish, the ponds, everything, and how it's going to work and what our plans are for the future and how we do things. So this is the NANO tank. It's only got 5 neon tetras in it, a couple of Bangladeshi suckers or silurella, and some cherry shrimp. Now the interesting thing is that on my 8-foot tank, this one over here, I had a couple of bits of wood, and my wife, as we were rescaping it, took them out and chucked a couple of pieces in a big barrel we had outside with water in it that we were growing. What do you call that stuff? The green, oh my god, anyway, never mind. We're growing stuff in there anyway. when we went to empty the barrels, because we're going to build a new pond, we found that the bit of wood that we put in there must have had a few shrimp on it, and the whole bottom of the barrel, after about a month, had hundreds and hundreds of cherry shrimp in it, which a lot of them we put in the pond, and a lot more. I'll just open that door there. As you can see, we put down in here. Excuse the mess. I like to keep this with a bit of algae and stuff like that on there, and this is where it all goes through. And I'll just explain this to you, how this tank works. So I have two pumps here. One pumps up to, oh sorry about that, one pumps up through here and comes out there, and the other one has a line going through and comes out here and drops in right there like that. And of course I have the NP60. So water goes through here, one line comes straight from here back into the tank, and the other one comes up here and goes into this canister filter, which has got a UV sterilizer on it, and that goes through there, then pumps up and pumps up this end of the tank. So that's working pretty well. Now on the other side I have a, you notice I've got plants and that down there. Well, that's to help help clean the water. So here, that's that green stuff I was trying to remember the name of. It's so simple, I don't understand why I can't think of it, but that's how it goes. So this one here is got shrimp, and there's a gudgeon that accidentally got put in there. There's a few live berries in there, platies I think they are. They just keep breeding like out of control. So we've got snails, we've got some nice little shrimp in there. Any plants that get dug up, and I keep replanting, they keep getting dug up, I just throw in here so they get a bit of a root system on it, and then I replant them. But what's happening now is we've decided that, hey, you know, all those shrimp growing outside in the weather we're here, this is southeast Queensland, Australia. So this is a winter's day. It's about 22, 23 degrees. It's not quite lunchtime yet. So it's beautiful and sunny and looking nice, as you can see. We usually keep these trees up fairly high to keep the sun out, but I'm chopping them all down now. I'm going to make a hedge out of them all. So the place is in a bit of a mess at the moment. But here we're going to build another pond, and I use pine sleepers. And you can see there, here's a pond here. That's 3 meters by 2.5 meters by 600 deep, the goldfish pond. This one here is going to be quite narrow. Where those boards there are is about the narrow of it. So this is going to be plants. This is where all the plants are going to go. I'll put a sand bed down, a 2-inch sand bed on the bottom of this. Put a liner in it. This is going to be 4 high, so this is going to be coming up one higher. I'm going to pump from the other end of the pond and run a line behind that board into this one, up this end, and then the water will travel through and then drop down like a waterfall into that one. And this will have cherry shrimp in it and the plants, because this gets sun all year round, and keep those trees in the background there, keep them down. So let's have a look. See, now I did tell you the place is in a mess. There's tools everywhere and stuff like that. There's a lot going on here with pumps and doing different things. So this pond's been working quite well. I've got a bird bath thing, I suppose, I put in there, and I've got a pump that pumps water up through the centre of it into there, and all the gook goes in there, and then I've planted some plants in there to eat that, and that keeps this water fairly, well, very clear. And I've got a bar here. This is all needs cleaning. We haven't been out here for a while. We've had a few weeks of rain. And then I come up, this is my barbecue area. So I've got seats in that we can sit down. Another little seat here, this is where fish food goes. So this is the goldfish pond. And it's pretty, this water here is quite cool. This one doesn't have a heater in it. But we'll go down and we'll have a look. I've got a nice big log in there. Right, so that's the pond, and I've got a couple of boxes here, look, that are gonna have different ones in it, so that's cool too. And of course here's the heated pond. So this one's a little bit more, got a little more stuff in it, you know. And this one here has got a couple of Oscars in it, and excuse the mess, tools everywhere, buckets everywhere. Now I've added an ICB to it, and let's go and look at that first. So it was very hard for me to do water changes on the pond until I come up with this idea. So I've cut the top out of this. I'm going to put plants in here, so I'm going to put wire brackets on there, drop plastic tubs in there with holes in it for plants to grow through there, because this is in the sun quite a fair bit. And the beauty about this is I've got water pumping in from the pump there, and then going out through these holes here. But what I like about this is I can turn all of the pumps off, and then I can drop 1,000 litres out through there in a few minutes, top this up, put the other stuff in it, and then start mixing the water together until it fills up again, so I don't have a problem with heat or anything, because I've got this massive heater in there that just does, you know, does all of this, no problem at all. My water's going down because it's been cool at night, and the heater's been going on, and well, I got it set at 26, that's at 25.9 right now. So the ICB is in the full sun, so that's heating up from the sun, so that's free energy. And then of course we've got this pond here. Now this is a little bit dirty because I've got a lot of water coming back out of there. I've got 2 of these pipes coming out, and they're just sort of like mixing the water around. I've got water moving through there, and it goes through another one of those big pumps that pumps out of this one through that pipe there, goes into another of those canister filters, pond canister filter, and it comes back through here with a UV on it and comes back out over there. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see anything here or not, but let's go in and have a look. Now this needs a bit of tidying up as well. He got me. He got me. Right, I'll put my head up against the rock here. Oh man, that scared the shit out of me. Stay back. Oh, I'm just looking for maybe something. Oh, get back. Well, that's gonna be awesome when it comes out on film. So I just wanted to find out what else we've got down here. I'm not sure we can see everything. Yeah, I'm looking for my there's some fire mouths in here too. Looking for my plecos. I haven't seen them for a little while, but there's not much that can happen to them. There's already can't see what I'm looking at. Anyway, there we go. Get back. Don't know what that is all about. Never done that before. So Maybe they got young'uns around or something. I'm glad he's hitting the camera and not my hand again. Alright, might be time to get out of here before we upset him too much. So that's pretty much the way it goes. Oh, there goes the dogs. Look at all this stuff we've got here. This is all the bits and pieces we pull down. We have to put it through the shredder, shred it all up and make garden mulch out of it, and carry on from there. So pretty much a lot of my timber and stuff like that I put in my tank ends up in this pond or this pond. There's a fair bit of timber in this pond. I just fed them recently, so but you can get a good idea about what's going on. There's quite a number of fish in there. This one's not heated, so there's a lot of platies in here. These have been going in here for 3 or 4 years now, so these ones are quite hardy. They can take the cold water. So this is about 7, maybe 8 generations or more of platies and swords that have adapted to the cooler water. But I like the white goldfish and the ones with patterns on them, and especially the yellows. There is a story about the yellow goldfish. One of the Japanese emperors was allowed to have, and his immediate family were allowed to have yellow goldfish, but nobody else was, and that's why they're fairly rare. But nowadays, of course, that no longer applies. So yellow goldfish are good, and the shabunkins are a fantastic addition to the goldfish thing. They get quite big. I don't think you can appreciate the size of them in a pond like that, but these platies and swords and guppies are massive. Some of them are 2-3 inches long, so it gives you an idea of the size of some of these goldfish. The white ones are good. Okay, sorry about that. One of the neighbours just informed me that 3 guys coming through my yard, and I just jumped over the back fence on the other side of the house, but there's an empty paddock next door, and I believe they came in through there, so they wouldn't get in here anyway. So anyway, getting back to what we're talking about, the goldfish pond, cold water. We're going to be building the plant and shrimp pond here. It's going to be, you know, this is pretty much in full sun, winter, whatever, you know. So it's good. It's a good area to be in too, because, well, from where it sits, you know. Alright, now I think that's just about all. The ICB, I think, is a little bit ugly, but I think I can paint that up and make that look a little bit better. So we have this pump pumping water into this one from the pond, and a fair bit of water too, by the way. And then we have this pump, another pump in here, that's pumping water back out into this one. And then I'm just going to see if that's on. Doesn't look like the UV sterilizer light needs replacing. And this is where I do, you know, water changes. So I just drop that 1000. Usually all the gunk and the muck sits on the bottom here, and it just flushes straight out of the other end. Alright, oh, and one of the first ponds I built, another thing that I've been doing, kind of. I bought a huge pond here. This is my first pond. There's nothing in it at the moment, that's just rainwater. But I've built a deck over the top of it, and I put Perspex windows in it. Now they don't look real crash hot at the moment. They've still got the plastic thing on them, the cover, but there's 3 of those goes through there. The place is all overgrown. I've got to cut all this back down again, and then, you know, tables and chairs up here, and a couple of umbrellas and that, and a little walkway up the top there. So this is one of those projects that, you know, started and didn't get to finish, but they will get finished one day. So so this one's going to be a yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to put in here. I'm thinking cherry barbs. They can take the temperature that we have, you know. There's quite a lot of room in there. There's a lot of hiding room underneath there. The pond is probably about 5 meters. It goes right back over there towards the fence. It goes right underneath this thing, and back up to here, the waterfall there. So there's a few things to do, but it's quite clear. There's nothing in it. I should probably put some fish in there to stop mosquitoes and that. And it's got some nice shade, and, you know, like some nice trees and bits and pieces hanging around it. Towards the back of my shed. Alright guys, well, that's pretty much the tour of the joint, about what's going on, and, you know, it'll only get bigger from here. So yeah, we'll see you next time, eh?